recent release of a variant, Puppy Linux variant called JammyPup32, and I want to try it out and set it up, but rather than setting it up manually from the beginning, what I want to do is to cheat a little bit and then borrow a previous save folder from XenialPup. So here is my USB stick that I've booted JammyPup with. So within SDB2, this is where save file for the JammyPup will be going into. So, but what I want to do is once I have a save pup32 started here from JammyPup after I reboot, then what I can do is open up XenialPup32 from my hard drive and then transfer a lot of files into JammyPup32, therefore eliminating my need for manual configuration again. So I think it'll be a more obvious once we get it started, but that's the basic premise, that I want to try a new JammyPup, but I don't want to spend too much time. I want to use the configuration from previous XenialPup. First thing is we need to download the ISO, JammyPup32 ISO, and then install it into bootable USB drive. So to download the file itself, what we can do is go to a Puppy Linux forum under board index, advanced topics, puppy derivatives, built from wolf/we recipe, and within it you'll find a thread JammyPup32 here, and then you click on the first clickable item here, and it's going to download the ISO. So that's the first part. The second part of how to install the ISO into a bootable USB, I've done a previous video on this, and then I'll put a link under the description so you can view it. So that's the plan. Now once you download and made a bootable USB stick, and then you boot it into the from the USB stick, you will come to a screen very similar to this. So you need to do a quick setups first. So first thing, you normally what I do is I go ahead and connect to my Wi-Fi, just click, and then it'll give you instructions on how to connect the Wi-Fi. So in my case, USB, the English US is fine, and then for second column here, I prefer to I live in San Diego, US, but the my preference is to use the US Pacific as the location. US Pacific, and then English US is fine, firewall enabled, time from the internet, and the rest of it is fine. So this is okay. And then with the synchronization of time, we have a Wi-Fi that's already connected, so we want to go ahead and synchronize for each system startup and sync to time server, and it's gonna connect for the first time and synchronize to the computer, and we want to synchronize clock at each system startup, so we'll go ahead and click on that and exit. Now at this point, what we want to do is go ahead and reboot. During the process of reboot, what you want to do is save. So you want to enable save, and what it will do is it'll save it'll put a save a folder here, and then I'll make it a name of YouTube to make it easier to recognize. So next time when we reboot, I would have booted into the USB stick again, but this time using the save folder. While rebooting, it asked me where I want to save my save folder, so I specify in SDB2. So that's why you see the YouTube extension of the save folder here. So this is a save folder that's being used. So I had the screen recorder and also the wireless connection all automatically done. So we can take a brief look at the root folder here on the JammyPup, and then we want to take a closer look at the XenialPup's save folder. So we'll go get in here. So this is the USB internal hard drive that I use normally on a daily basis, and I do have 3 separate Puppy Linux installed that I use, but usually I end up using XenialPup, and so this is the save file which contains all the configuration files and so on. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the root folder here. So normally you can go ahead and just copy bash rc file just over, so that way you retain all the alias function to the new XenialPup. So we'll go ahead and merge that, and similarly, generally speaking, you can go ahead and X resources defaults can also be transferred over, gtkrc and GTK 2.0 mine, and so we'll go ahead and copy that over. Now because of the JammyPup and the XenialPup may have different menu system entries and so on, so I will not copy the JWMRC over. So similarly, the trace that you see here in JammyPup, the configuration file is not in the JWMRC tray file as in XenialPup, but it's in JWM, and it's separated into separate trays, so that gets pretty complicated. So I will not go ahead and try to copy of the tray configuration. So but within it, JWM, within it the important JWMRC personnel file contains all the keyboard shortcuts so that's very important to retain the same keyboard shortcuts from XenialPup to Jammy. So we'll go ahead and copy that over, and then go back to the root level again, and there are the scripts that I use extensively, particularly in reference to key binding. So we can go ahead and copy that over, which is in my application and bin, over to my application here. So we'll go ahead and merge that, and we'll take a brief look, make sure all the files are in it. So that's been copied over, and we can go ahead and delete that. So that's been copied over. So next time when I boot, you should have all my keyboard bindings working. So I think what we may want to do at this point is just the XenialPup32, and then we can take a brief look at OPT folder. So OPT folder, and we're gonna look at the OPT folder in Jammy. So Jammy doesn't have any other files. So OPT folder is very important in that I have several portable large applications, like in this case Vivaldi, which is a browser. Portable files are important in that it contains all the necessary dependent files within it, and also it contains its own configuration files. So if what I can do is just go ahead and simply copy all this OPT files over into JammyPup, and it's gonna take perhaps a couple of minutes because particularly Vivaldi portable, all the configuration and files and cache files and so on, maybe some are large, so we'll give it a minute or so. So it took a couple of minutes to copy everything over. So one error, so usually that's of no significance. So what we want to do is at this point, since there's been a significant change in configuration files, is to go ahead and force the puppy here to read a configuration file by JWM restart, and now the keyboard binding should be all active, and let's see if we can go ahead and get I'll go ahead and close everything. Oops, are you sure you want to quit? No, I don't want to quit the screensaver. So recorder is still going. That's great. Okay, and then now I'm gonna give it a super W and see if we can get Vivaldi started. Okay, and now it's starting. Okay, so I realized that there's a couple of other minor points that I wanted to make before I finish. One of the things that you may want to do is to save the save folder intermittently while you're undergoing a configuration, and for example, I'll do it here, and I open up the terminal here, and I'll just get it over here, and then because I'm in the same folder, you can see the same folders in it, and what we can do is make a folder here to back up as a backup. So make directory mntsda2, and then we'll go ahead and name it bk up. So we'll go ahead and make a bk up there, so you can see a folder has been created, and we're still on this folder here. So next we can go ahead and copy /rf, and then up. So we'll go ahead and tab it. So YouTube folder is going to be copied onto this folder. So we can go ahead and enter, and missing destination. Okay, so we into mnt sda2 BKUP, and they should do it. They should copy. So he's taken so it makes it safer. You can always go ahead and go back to the older previous save folder, just in case you mess up in some way. A word of caution, I noticed that while I'm playing around with this to get prepared for a video, when you're making adjustments to configuration files, especially the appearance of the theme and menu and tray and so on, what you may want to do is try to avoid using this particular setting, particularly theming. Theming tends to mess up whatever save file information from older, in my case XenialPup. So I had to restart the older save folders that I used here to correct overall I strongly recommend when you use this technique to stay away from modifying anything through this particular part of the application, the theming. Okay, and I think that should be it. Okay, thanks.